Is Lego Star Wars underrated in terms of a gateway into Star Wars for kids? I'm now a believer that that is true. I'll get into why a little bit later in the show, but welcome everybody to the Resistance broadcast. I'm John. Thank you so much for being with us today. We have a really cool show because Oscar Isaac said, "What?" He said, "What?
Are you
What?"
sure, Oscar? Huh?
In a high-pitched voice, like Ralph Wiggum. What's going on with this guy? Lacey, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Excited to talk some Star Wars. It's that weird vibe, but we're into the summer. There's like the anticipation and excitement for the beginning of the school year slash holidays are coming up in a couple
Mm,
months, which means we're probably going to get more Star Wars news. Starfighter's going to start filming soon. And it's
yeah.
just, we actually have Star Wars stuff coming up, like you said, with Rebuild the Galaxy, Lego, outside of what you were discussing, but similar universe of
Yes.
Star Wars Legos and whatnot. But yeah, good day.
Yeah, we have Visions coming up. We have Rebuild the Galaxy from Lego Star Wars coming up.
Which we love the
Uh,
first part of it.
Great.
Hmm.
Can't wait to see the new one. But also, you had mentioned Star Wars news. Now, our eye, as I'm sure other Star Wars fans have their eyes on D23, August 30th. So 9 days away. They said they're going to be showcasing the upcoming movies. They had an image of the Mandalorian and Grogu. So people attending D23 will likely be seeing a trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu. The question is, Lacey,
Hmm.
will they then immediately after D23 publicly release this trailer?
I think it depends on if it's the same stuff that they showed at Celebration.
Hmm.
Like if they've showed it to multiple audiences, I think they will. But they've also been known in the past at D23 to withhold stuff more than Celebration. Like there were a couple Star Wars films that they had reels or behind the scenes looks that they didn't release, but then they released something else to generate some publicity, which usually has been one of my favorite teaser trailers, which is not necessarily like a behind the scenes clip of something, but like the reel of them working on it, like the reel. Do you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about? Like,
Yep.
remember the one of my favorite ones was the Last Jedi one where they show them like pressing the buzzer for the stage and getting everybody ready, and there's a lot of Carrie Fisher in it. So,
Yeah.
love that one. So I think they could release something like that for the Mandalorian and Grogu. That would be really cool, showing everybody working on it without giving anything away. Just like probably based on John Favreau's comments, the scale of it, what they're bringing to the table. But they're probably going to show either a scene or a clip like they did at Celebration that only the audience there will see.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I don't think we're gonna get this trailer publicly after D23. So as exciting as it is to think about the fact that they're gonna be showing the crowd there something from that movie, and my guess is it'll be different from what we saw at Celebration because by that point it'll be 4 months later, and who knows what other shots they were able to finish in that time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so, but I think they like using that to get word of mouth going as its own little marketing stamp, and then they'll do one of those big Monday Night Football type of here's the trailer for the Mandalorian and Grogu, and they're gonna have the little
Yeah.
doll on set of Grogu, and they're gonna have the football helmet on Grogu, and they're gonna say, "Here we go, here it is," so that it's this national event that sequel trilogy did. They did such a good job capturing people in the build up to those movies with those trailers. Because say what you want about
Yeah.
the sequel trilogy, each of those movies in terms of the impact of the trailers and the buzz those created was phenomenal.
I
So,
remember being back in my hotel room on my honeymoon for the Last Jedi trailer, which was
mm,
October 9th, I think it was. And I was on my honeymoon at the time, and I was like, we have to be back by this time to watch the trailer. Like, I was very urgent about it.
the
Um,
pre TRB LG just
yeah.
saying must watch trailer.
It was the one where Kylo Ren's like walking through crate, very kind of Anakin like. Do you remember that
Yep,
one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember I was sitting there and Matt was like, "Can we go do anything else?" Like, I'm like on my phone, which was much smaller at the time than it is now. It was like an earlier iPhone,
Yeah.
to date myself because that's what we're talking about now. We're talking about almost a decade ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always a lot of fun when leading up to big Star Wars movies, and this Mandalorian movie is gonna be the first one we've gotten in a while. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be major hype.
Yeah. It's I mean, obviously you and I are rooting for it big time.
Absolutely.
You know, we're in a different world these days in terms of box office expectations. And we've seen some stumbles happening with big Lucasfilm franchises with Indiana Jones and stuff, but
And
I'm
Marvel.
kind of well, of course, but yeah,
Yeah,
closer to home with Lucasfilm, like Indiana
sure.
Jones was like shocked me because I thought that was going to do so well, but
Mm.
there's something about Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm feeling really positive about it. Jon Favreau, you know, Grogu transcending the franchise, and people who might not necessarily love Star Wars may buy ticket for this one. I'm
They
feeling
just love
pretty good.
Grogu.
Yeah,
Grogu, like, everybody loves Grogu, whether you like Star Wars or not. Everybody
yeah,
knows who Grogu is.
the little man's a draw. There's no doubt about. I mean,
Yes.
he's chilling right now, right there. But
Is that him with Chewie?
and yeah, they're in the rocker. Chewie's reading him a story to put him to sleep. But they were watching Johnny play Lego Star Wars, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, I'm
Love that.
feeling good about it. So I just hope they do this sort of big event trailer reveal, national TV type of thing in October. Or maybe even later. Maybe they wait till like December or something like that. You know, it doesn't have to be Super Bowl in February. Like, get us something before the end of the year to get people talking around the holidays about this, getting maybe some Grogu dolls circulating under the Christmas tree, all that kind of stuff. I'm hoping this fall we get a trailer for it, but I don't think it'll be right after D23. But we'll see. We will
We
see.
will see.
But let's get into our main stories in the good old Resistance Report.
It's the Resistance.
Okay, on the press tour for the upcoming Frankenstein, as we often joke about, but a real fact, if you've ever been in Star Wars, no matter how long it's been or what you're promoting, and whether that thing you're promoting has literally nothing to do with space fantasy, you will be asked if you
Mhm.
want to come back to Star Wars.
Mhm.
And that is no different for Oscar Isaac, who has been known to saying no when he's been asked if he wants to come back to Star Wars, even joking one time. I would say maybe he regrets this a little, saying, maybe if I need another house. Well,
That was
folks,
leading up to Rise of Skywalker. That was Rise of Skywalker press that they were talking about Disney Plus or continuing the story of Poe that he said that.
it was around that time. I know there was the one promoting it where he was like, where they asked him if he wanted to be on Disney Plus, and he said, no, I'm cashing in my chips. And he was
Yeah.
with Kerry
And John
Russell, and she's like, "Oh, you're bad." You know?
Carrie's like, "Shut up. I need some
She's like, "This
money.
is my first one, dude. Like,
Give me a break."
I don't have
It was in
multiple
that
houses.
press
Pipe
tour
down."
though, and I f I shared it recently. I retweeted it. So I apologize. I don't remember who did it, but someone had edited together all like those moments from the press tour. Oh my gosh. Just like this is so awkward with like comments like that where they were just kind of done by the end.
Well, it looks like Oscar Isaac might need a new house because
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this interview, which is a very, very extensive interview about their upcoming project, the interviewer did sneak in a question about Star Wars and whether he would return to Star Wars. And Oscar Isaac took a comical route with it by doing a little Simpsons tribute. Little
Smart.
Ralph Wiggum with his famous line, "I'm a Star Wars." So he apparently used that type of voice. This was a print interview, and he said, "I'm a Star Wars. Yeah, I'd be a Star Wars again if there was something good to do with that." So there's not much there. But first impressions for me, Lacey, and then I'll throw it to you, is I feel like Oscar Isaac feels like he's above Star Wars. So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on his comment, how he made his comment, and do you add does it tip the scales back the other way for you that he maybe is changing his mind?
I think he, amongst other actors, or I would say like uh, musicians, creators, anybody, are kind of sick of the interview styles nowadays, which is he's there to talk about Frankenstein. He loves Frankenstein. He's proud of the movie. He's proud of what he did with it. He wants to talk about it in detail. And he's sick of interviewers throwing in these side questions that have nothing to do with the thing that he's promoting. And I think that's a trend I've been seeing over and over again. Um, Margaret Qualley was out promoting, I think, her new movie Honey Don't with Aubrey Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
And she another like kind of like indie film, very excited for her to continue to do projects she cares about, especially coming off of like Substance. Like she's amazing. She was on the Today Show to talk about that. And it happened to be the day after Taylor Swift was on New Heights podcast, talk about her new album. So naturally, they tried to sneak in, like, so have you heard Taylor's album? Even though Margaret's husband did not produce the album, he had nothing to do with it this time around. And you could
Who's
see
her husband?
Jack Antonoff, who produced Taylor's album, the
Oh,
past few.
all right. Gotcha.
Anyway, he was also the one that was married to what's her name from Girls, or who's with her, dating her. And
Lena
then
Dunham?
yeah, he was dating Lena Dunham and then broke up with her and then got married to Margaret Qualley. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, that happened.
What? So
Yep.
were there stops in between?
No, I don't think so.
So he just
That's like that new show that came out. We talked about it, Nerdy and Nice, that she's promoting, where it's that girl that goes to London and was with another guy, and then he got a new girlfriend, and then she moves to London. And I told you that was based on her real life. She was dating Jack. They broke up. Jack got with Margaret, and then she moved to London and met her now husband. Like that's a true story. That actually happened.
So he was with Lena Dunham.
Yes.
That Lena Dunham, right?
That's why Lena Dunham is in Taylor Swift's music video.
And then now he's with Margaret Qualley.
Yes. Married. They're married.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, the point of that story, before everybody's like, where is this going? The point of that story is that they asked her a question about Taylor Swift and she got very visibly awkward and visibly like, why are you asking me this? I guess I think we're going to see more and more of that bucking the trend of giving people sound bites for social media. I think celebrities are getting really sick of that, being like, I don't need to be your soundbite. I don't need to be a social media trend or viral moment. I'm here to promote this project, not give in to these other things. So that being said, I witnessed Oscar Isaac months ago when he was doing hosting for Disney and Lucasfilm for Andor, because he's friends with a bunch of people in the Andor project. And he was in New York City leaving, and they asked him if he was in the Daisy project, and he just looked at the camera, smiled, and was like, no. So he was just so like blunt, no. But then they asked him, would you return to Star Wars in general? And he's getting this jokey, like, I'm a Star Wars. I would be a Star Wars, which to me is he doesn't want to lie and say no. He said no to the Daisy project. He did not say no, as you pointed out, John, to Starfighter. He's making a joke about Star Wars here. I think he is, when you brought this up, I didn't even consider it, a part of Star Wars already. I think he's going to be in Starfighter either as a part or as a cameo. It makes sense. I think he's playing nice. I think his agent and people are like, don't turn down money, guy. Like, what are we doing here? But it is a little funny based on, I know we have joked about it a lot, how he was like, only if I needed a house, I'm cashing my chips in, blah, 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 that he said during Rise of Skywalker promotion, that we were just like, it's kind of offensive, like as a Star Wars fan, that you're like, nah, I'm good. And now he's like, maybe I will. Would I love to see him come back? Sure. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, this quote to me says I'm already in it or I'm in talks to be in it and I don't want to deny it.
Yeah, I remember a couple of months ago, We did an episode and we titled it "Will Star Wars Starfighter Bring Oscar Isaac Back as Poe Dameron?"
Yeah.
And we were connecting the dots and stuff like that. We were talking about Star Wars Celebration, how Levy was there, Gosling was there, for the Mandalorian and Grogu panel, like, and they'd been
Yeah.
do this big Starfighter reveal, and the fact that Poe Dameron or Oscar Isaac couldn't make it.
He canceled. Yeah, he was
We were
supposed to be
theorizing,
there.
oh, could he have come out on stage during that too and caused like another thing? Because that panel was shorter than it was supposed to be. It was a very
It was
strange,
very weird.
yeah. So, and that, Poe Dameron's obviously a starfighter. 5 years after Rise of Skywalker, we're 6 years after that in real life, so the age works out perfectly. He's worked with Ryan Gosling before in Drive. There's so many reasons to point to that happening. So I'm sticking with that and thinking like maybe that's where he wants to come back versus just following the same path that he may still feel a little burnt out from with the Rey story and all the legacy stuff. Maybe he's more enticed to, hey, let's take Poe, who's not adverse to going off and doing different things, and plug him into this movie here and see what we can do with that. So I still have Starfighter circled as a very high potential return for him. So yeah,
Yeah.
I still think that's a possibility.
I agree.
I just don't. It just seems like, and I know I was feeling this way a little bit with Pedro Pascal because it was always like, oh, he doesn't have the time. He can only be the voice. And then he's signing up for every other project under the sun. And it almost like he was taking advantage of Star Wars letting him only be the voice. So that rubbed me the wrong way with Pedro. And then now I like Oscar with all of his like comments and over the years. And it just feels like he's like, almost like he doesn't like Star Wars. It's kind of strange. So
He's like, nah, I'm good.
yeah. Like, I love when actors are like, I can't believe I get to be in Star Wars, and that persists because he did feel that way at one time.
Like Ewan McGregor or
exactly.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, I mean, it's a no-brainer that you're gonna root for people who want to be in your franchise versus people who are like, yeah, just pay me $15
Cash in the
million
check.
and I'll
Yeah.
come do it. Because Star Wars doesn't need Poe Dameron. Like, it's not, we're not talking about Han Solo here or Luke Skywalker or Princess Leia. Like, there's certain characters that live up to that level or just under it that you're like, man, that would be such a lift. I don't think Poe Dameron's that. I would love to see him. I would love to see Poe Dameron not have to be tied to this family soap opera story and see what he can do on his own in a sense in a supporting role for this one. But it's not like Star Wars needs him. So I would love to hear him say like, at least if you're gonna feel this way, just lie and say like, oh, it would be great to come back. I would love for you, if they could find me a path to come back, that'd be awesome. Lie through your teeth, fool me, so that I'm like, Oscar, all right, man, all right. But
the way you just said, lie through your teeth.
Lie right through your teeth, Timmy. Anyway,
got really, really down and dirty with that one. Bringing out the New Yorker.
Oh,
a little bit.
But our next story, though, we have Simon Kinberg, who is feverishly banging away at the keyboard, coming up with a new trilogy for Star Wars. He is no stranger to franchises, but Lacey, as we learn in this interview with Nerdtropolis, he is no stranger to Star Wars in his life. Since he was a little kid, he said, all of the photos you see of me are in Star Wars sweatshirts. I have my Star Wars toys. He was, in the hospital, and his parents brought him the Millennium Falcon and all that stuff. Why I thought, talking about this story, which doesn't give us much about his trilogy, but it gives us a look inside who's the type of fan Simon Kinberg is, which is, I'm lumping in with Sean Levy, that type of person like a J.J. Abrams. They're in that 50-year-old age range. They grew up as little kids watching Star Wars. They're OG, OT fans. And then you add the fact that he worked on Star Wars Rebels. But a lot of the headlines covering this made it seem like he's being inspired by Andor. And I don't take it that way personally, but I want to throw this to you. Any reading between the lines or personal takeaways for you in terms of how you're maybe seeing how he's going to construct his story for Star Wars based on the personal insight he gave here? What are your thoughts on the Simon Kinberg interview here?
That's what people took away from this chat.
A lot of the headlines I was seeing was like Simon Kinberg is very inspired by Andor and stuff like that. I think that might just be because Andor is in the headlines a lot right now, and it could be just to get people to read stuff. But fans read those headlines more often than not, without diving in, and they
Yeah.
may start running around with this whole narrative that, oh, the new trilogy is going to be more like Andor, you know? And I don't think that that's the case.
Yeah, I didn't take that from this until you just said that, but I could see why people would pull that out just because the for your consideration Emmy stuff is going around with Andor, and it's definitely a show that everybody's been talking about because it was the big show this year so far. But yeah, I mean, he says, quote, "I've always been enthusiastic about it. I always will be." And he said, when talking about being able to write his and develop his own Star Wars trilogy, he said, quote, "It's not even a dream come true. I couldn't have dreamed it." This is the kind of passion and excitement and love for Star Wars that I get drawn to when I'm listening to someone talking about working on Star Wars.
Exactly.
This is the type of person that no matter what they decide to do with it, I'm going to support them because they're coming from a place of pure childhood, life inspiring awe of Star Wars. And you can't deny everything that he's saying here. Like, oh my gosh, the comment about how he was in the hospital when he was little for pneumonia and he woke up to a Lego Millennium Falcon from his family because they just want him to know everything was going to be okay. And if he had a Millennium Falcon, then everything was going to be fine. Like your lifeline as a child is Star Wars. That is such an impactful core memory for him that you can't look at this interview and just say, "Oh yeah, but Andor is what's driving his passion for." Like I'm sure he meant it in such a wonderful way, which he does. He says, "I was inspired just as sort of awestruck by what Tony Gilroy did with Andor. I thought it was about as good as a science fiction storytelling as you can do in any franchise." That doesn't mean that that's his storytelling. He's saying that's Tony's storytelling, and Tony did an amazing job with the story he had to tell. His story and Simon Kinberg's story are not going to be the same. Just because they're coming from different experiences and backgrounds and values and what have you. You can appreciate someone else's work and be inspired by it, but not be replicating it. And I agree with you, John. I don't know why people took that out of this and was like, "Oh, clearly we're going to get another Andor." I do not think that at all. Um,
Yeah, if
yeah.
you look at all the very popular online movie blogs, and I'm sure you could think of a lot of them off the top of your head without naming them
Mhm.
because we're nice here. Um, a lot of the initial headlines and uh, edited headlines and all the sorts of things that these people put out say that his new trilogy is going to be this one. MSN. Simon Kinberg. Now that's not a blog. MSN I'll take shots at. Simon Kinberg says Andor shows the way for the next Star Wars trilogy.
How did
Simon
they
Kinberg cites Andor as inspiration for his upcoming trilogy.
So to be fair to those people pulling that headline is Nerdtropolis did the thing where they cut 1 minute and 37 seconds for the entire interview, which by the way, he was being interviewed once again about Invasion, which is an Apple TV series. So this is going back to what I was saying about Oscar Isaac, actually, is that they're asking these other questions on top of other interviews and then cutting this 1:37 response, and then that gets all the news, and Apple Invasion gets nothing. Um, they cut this out. So like the whole clip is him talking about this, and that's what people are running with is just the Andor clip.
Yeah.
So
And
you don't get
that
to hear the rest of the interview. You only hear his
that's the
inspiration for
problem.
Andor, and it's 1 minute and 37 seconds, guys.
That
So the
and
whole picture and everything. Look, I get it. hats off to Nerdropolis for getting this interview. Simon's awesome. I've met him like once or
Absolutely.
twice, I think. But at the same time, like they're feeding into it. They're cutting out this one clip and
Oh
then
yeah.
everybody's running with the clip and they don't get to watch the rest of the I would love to watch the full interview. It might be on their
But
YouTube channel or whatever, but
the problem is them getting. I understand why they did that, and I don't judge them for that at all. But
sure.
the clip makes the rounds, and like you're saying, they don't read the rest or get the full, like, zoomed out context of it all. Because he also mentions Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni in that same breath. Then all of the blogs are like, go hunting for Star Wars news, and they find the Star Wars news, and they're like, these guys are saying, oh, let's watch this clip. This guy's saying Andor is the inspiration. Okay, run it. And it's Andor inspires new trilogy, and then Yahoo takes from that and they put it on their site.
Yeah.
So then you go to your weekend barbecue and people are like, I loved Andor, and I guess the new Star Wars trilogy is going to be like Andor. And it's like, wow, look how quick that just happened. And that's exactly what happens.
It does. And it's unfortunate here that that's the headline they ran with. Not that I didn't, like, you guys know, I loved Andor, especially season 2. It
oh man,
it was
so good,
awesome, beautiful, heartbreaking, moving, passionate, like so many things. I can't stop talking about it. It was just so great.
unbelievable.
However, I do want to give credit where credit is due. And I know that what Simon's doing is going to be incredible as well in its own way. And it just makes me a little sad that he's sharing these kind of like really important, moving core memories from his childhood about Star Wars that adds a little bit of weight to what he's doing. And that's getting downplayed because he said, hey, I liked Andor, which was done by Tony Gilroy. Look, we all love Tony Gilroy here, but let's also give some
love Tony Gilroy.
Yeah, some high fives and way to go, Simons, because he deserves it. That being said, I said this off air, and I'm really proud of myself about it, is that I know what Simon Kinberg looks like now from being a Star Wars fan, that someone had shared a clip of a celebrity at a Beyonce concert, and they're like, oh, so-and-so's at the Beyonce concert. And he was talking to Simon Kinberg, and I retweeted it and was like, Simon Kinberg's taking a break from the Star Wars trilogy at a Beyonce concert. And people are like, oh, nice. And it's like, you just feel a little bit nerdier. You're like, I knew exactly that was Simon Kinberg. Also, love that he gets down with some Beyonce. It's kind of funny to me. But awesome at the same time. But
yeah, Simon Kinberg, as successful as he is, like, he can walk into a Wawa and like not get like he can walk around like not get bothered. Like, he can feel the softness of fruits, take his time.
And like of fruits.
You know, when people do that, they go up to like the apple, the peaches, and they make sure they're, they're good. The avocados and all that.
Out of all the things you could have pulled from this world, you're like, he feels the softness of fruits. He really just gets in there.
Well, because that's when people stop in the grocery store. Usually, it's like they're moving there, they're moving there, they're moving there. At the fruit, they're like, I got to get the right 8 avocados.
Which, by the way, that ruins the fruit when they touch them all. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love that he can just sort of float anonymously. Like, that's always cool when someone is like famous enough, but people like they're not a face. Like, that's the perfect celeb right there. You can have a normal life and still have this cool job and probably really good money and stuff like that. But
speaking of soft fruits, you know what I found out a couple weeks ago?
What?
I'm allergic to peaches.
You are?
Yeah.
So what happened? What was the incident?
On vacation, I went to a farmer's market and they had these like brilliantly 6th generation grown peaches. And so I brought them back because Matt loves peaches. And he was cutting them up and giving the kids. And he's like, and I don't like peaches. I've never liked peaches in my whole life. I've always been like, no peaches. I don't like them. He was like, you have to try these. They're like the freshest things ever. So I took a bite of it and it was delicious. Very, very good. And my whole mouth went fuzzy. Like it felt kind of nummy, fuzzy. And it had this kind of like, it's not like a burning, but like it felt off. And I was like, I don't like that. And I think I'm allergic to peaches.
Wow. Yeah, I'm allergic to a lot of pitted fruits myself.
You told me stone fruit.
What is that?
I think you called it stone fruit, right?
I've never said that phrase in my life.
Oh, I thought someone called it stone fruit. I thought it was you because you told me you were like allergic to like peaches and apricots and stuff.
Is stone fruit a thing?
I thought that's like ones with pits.
That's a term
Is
I've
that
never
not
heard it.
something?
Pitted
Am I
fruits,
making
I've
that
said.
up?
Pitted fruits? Stoned fruits?
Am I making that term up?
You just see a bunch of bananas and apples on the corner
Oh,
of the street smoking a
no.
J.
Fun
Oh,
fact of the day. Stone fruits are peaches, plums, nectarines, cherries, and apricots.
yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm
Are
allergic
you
to some
allergic to
fruits as
those?
well. No, no, I don't think so actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then you weren't the person that told me they were allergic to stone fruits. I'm sorry,
Who
whoever that
who
is.
said stone fruits? Let's clear the air here. But
But anyway, so I will not be the person with Simon Kinberg feeling the softness of fruits in the
okay,
supermarket.
well,
I
maybe
would
he's
I
allergic
would
to
fake
stone
it.
fruits too.
If he was in my supermarket though, I would fake it and be like, "So, that new script, how's it I don't know why I'm doing this. How's it going?"
He's like, pretty good, pretty
Just-
good, pretty good. He puts it up to his ear. He's
I'm
like,
so sorry, audio listeners. We're sitting here squeezing fake fruits, but it
we're
doesn't look that
squeezing the
good
the
on.
fake fruits throughout the galaxy.
So, all right.
My last thing on Kinberg is, he wrote episodes for Star Wars Rebels, Twilight of the
Yes.
Apprentice probably being the biggest one. A monster episode. You have Ahsoka versus Vader. That last dramatic face off. And for Dave Filoni to trust him with that is huge because we know how much Dave Filoni has this ownership of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So the fact that Dave's where he is in the company now, and they bring in Simon Kinberg, who we trusted to do that episode, and that is on the fantastical side of Star Wars, quite a bit not Andor. You're talking about uh Togruta Jedi and the fallen Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, lightsaber clash, big monster fantastical battle, and he co-wrote that, I think, with Filoni. So I don't know what we're going to get from him, but I do think it is going to lean more into the fantastical side of things. I just think he really appreciated how Tony Gilroy delivered that. And maybe that will inspire him in a dialogue sense, that it's okay to, maybe get a little deeper and a little more clever with your writing. But I still think he's of that generation that grew up with an action figure in his hand. And
Me too.
I think we're going to get fantastical with his trilogy, but I really loved his words. He seems earnest, and I'll echo what you said. And that narrative we put forth when we were talking about Oscar Isaac is that when you hear someone who just feels so lucky and fortunate and excited and happy to step into the galaxy far, far away, you can't help but wanna root for them. So
Because
look forward to
anytime
hearing more about that.
anytime we've been in a situation where we've been lucky to experience something, see something, talk to someone, anything that's connected to the world of Star Wars, I have always felt the way Simon feels, which is like, this isn't a dream come true because I couldn't have dreamed this. I couldn't have
Yeah,
dreamed being at Skywalker Ranch. I couldn't have dreamed talking to Christopher Ford or Rob Coleman. I couldn't have dreamed of any of these things. Meeting people that love Star Wars as much as I do, finding my belonging in this community of TRB. Those things never came to be because they're so magical and wonderful that I couldn't have come up with them. And
yeah.
that I was really drawn to him saying that. Like it just makes me whatever he does, I'm gonna be number one fan up front with my Simon Kinberg t-shirt on, president of the club. Like, let's go, Simon, because I'm there.
All right. Last main news story before we head into Will of the Force is Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past, the sequel to the original run of episodes from last year. It's going to be a 4-part series out September 19th. The trailer is out. So we're not going to do any sort of walkthrough. It's supposed to be a light, fun, adventurous series that all ages can watch. So let's just give some quick thoughts. Lacey, you watched the trailer. What'd you think of the next offering that is less than a month away?
Well, the first part of the show I adored. I think we both did. We loved it.
Yeah.
We thought it was hilarious. We see Solitus, that's his name, Dan Stevens'
Mm-hmm.
character, for the first time in action, and we have the returning characters. Um, I'm forgetting his name, the guy from Stranger Things, Dustin, who plays the main character here. What's his
Gavin,
name?
Keaton Matarazzo.
Yeah, he sounds a bit older. I'm not gonna lie. I think they recorded this a little later than the other one, so
Well,
his
he's
voice sounds a little
43
different.
now, so I mean,
His voice sounds a little different. It threw me a bit. But it's nice to hear like Bobby Moynihan again and a couple other people here and there, and you hear Alan Tudyk in there as well. Um, these are always just so fun to watch, and I going away from what I said from Simon Kinberg, the reason I like these so much is because they don't take themselves too seriously, and they do poke fun at themselves, at Star Wars, at fans. Um, and they know what triggers fans, and they go, we're just gonna poke fun at this. It's kind of very South Parky to me, like that they're like, oh, you guys take this so seriously, we're gonna show
yeah,
you that it doesn't have to be that serious. It can
yeah.
still just be fun, and still have some heart to it. But I love the little Jackson, I'm a deep cut, you wouldn't get who I am, but of course if you're a Star Wars fan, you know who that is.
Hmm.
um yeah, it's a good time. I can't wait to watch it. I'm looking forward to laughing and getting in on the jokes. I'm super hyped that Mark Hamill is Luke in this. That was one of my favorite pieces, pun intended, of the first section of the series, was him playing this like very different Luke Skywalker that's like
Yeah.
cheating and stuff. Yeah, I'm just and I always love the Palpatine too. They always do a you guys know I hate Palpatine normally. Lego Palpatine gets a pass from me. He is so funny that I'm all in on Lego Palpatine. That is the only Palpatine I'm okay with.
Really? All right.
Yes.
Okay.
The only.
I yeah, there were a lot of clips from this that I laughed at. The giant Chewbacca thing,
Mhm.
Darth Vader flipping that line of "Your abundance of faith is encouraging or
Yeah.
pleasing to me" or something. I thought that
The
was
Porg
cute.
whales.
Yep, oh yeah, the Porg whales. Yep. And yeah, seeing Mark Hamill. So it's gonna be a fun little romp, a little good time.
I knew you were
Uh,
gonna say romp.
little reminder that the preciousness of canon is not needed here. And you can throw all of your convictions about how Star Wars should be to the wind and have some fun and not worry about it and just enjoy the elements of Star Wars. And that's what I enjoy so much about this is you're getting all the fun, like amazing, wild things that are in Star Wars, from creatures, dialects, all different species and worlds and weapons and all that. And you don't have to um like focus so far beyond those because of the story and what's canon and stuff like that. You can just
Yeah.
enjoy those things at face value. And I think this type of thing is such a cool thing for kids, obviously, families of all ages to watch, because it's easily digestible. It's really funny. They know how to press the right buttons. Like Lego Star Wars, it's very good with knowing like how to do certain jokes and references and nods, but also be a little silly and
They're good
slapsticky.
at reading the room.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, it also can be a gateway for kids because it is so easily digestible. And sometimes when you think like, oh yeah, Star Wars is for kids, it took Johnny a while to really like sit down and watch this stuff. And I think for little kids to watch this and just get to know a character's name or what a lightsaber is and stuff without worrying about who's good or who's bad, it lets you, it introduces yourself, it gets you in the pool, it gets you to understand the feel of Star Wars and what it's all about, without being so hunkered down by the severity and seriousness of the real story and canon and that sort of stuff. So
That reminds me, when we were on our week off, you and I got tagged a couple times in a story about Ron Howard talking about Solo. And he talked about specifically George telling him, remember, it's for 12-year-old boys.
hmm,
Like,
yeah,
that's what he was saying during the process. And that kind of thing just speaks to Lego, I feel, that they, not necessarily 12-year-old boys specifically, but remember, it's for kids. It's for families and kids to have fun and enjoy Star Wars in a way that's not so serious.
yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Mhm.
All right, that is it for Resistance Report. We have a fun round of one of your favorite segments right now.
I fear nothing, for all is as the Force wills it.
It's time for Will of the Force. Guys, you like this segment and we do too. So before we get into it, there are lots of ways you can support us. You can like this video, comment, subscribe on YouTube. I really appreciate it. We're almost over 4,000 subscribers. It would mean a lot if you'd help us get us there. You can follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leave reviews, leave comments. We love seeing them and let us know how we're doing. But beyond that, if you want to be a part of the community and support what we're doing here on the show, whether it's travel, upgrades to equipment, etc., making our dreams come true of being podcasters full time, you can head over to patreon.com/TRB podcast. Starting at just $5 a month, you support this show and Nerdy and Nice on Mondays. And everything that we're doing here. And as you go up in the tiers, you get mini episodes, watch alongs, Discord access, merch, and much, much more. And one of the things you get to do is submit topics for Will of the Force. So that's what this is. So the way that this works is you guys and John pitch will they, won't they, will it, won't it situations. And we have to pick a side and kind of give our explanation to why. So first up is a Patreon submission, Commander Stephanie J. What up, Stephanie? How's it going, girl?
Hey, Stephanie.
Asks, will Bendu from Rebels show up in any future shows or movies? Maybe Ezra finds him? ... Question mark. John, I'm going to let you kick this one off.
I'm going to say yes. I think Bendu could show up in the Dave Filoni movie. And the reason I think this is because I think Ahsoka season 2 needs to resolve her journey to Mortis or wherever she's going. We assume Mortis, and everything going on in the other galaxy in Peridia. Bring it back home to the known galaxy, and also Bendu is such a large, complex character. I don't know from a budget perspective if that's something they'd want to attempt to tackle for the first time in quote unquote live action with a TV budget, that they probably could use the dollars to allocate elsewhere. And also, they seem like they've been putting their foot on the brake a little bit with the Disney Plus shows. This Ahsoka Rebels path is where I would see Bendu fitting in, because that's where he did fit in before. So what better place than the movie, where you get a bigger budget? He doesn't have to chew up as much screen time. He can be in one pivotal scene or something like that. So I think if Bendu's going to show up, and I'm going to say, why not? Filoni loves getting the whole gang together in terms of the characters. He loves reusing characters. I think Bendu would show up in his culmination movie. That's where I would think Bendu will show up.
Great answer. I don't want to be lame, but I am going to agree with John. And I think Bendu will show up in the movie, not in the shows, similarly for budgetary reasons. And I think that it would be an awesome, epic moment in a big budget movie for someone like Neil Scanlon and his team to work on. Years ago, we had a running joke, baby Spiderhead. It was this big, gigantic puppet. We've seen photos of it. That was supposed to be a part of the Rise of Skywalker, where this like baby was in a lake and they had a spider on it that talked, and like it had a moving arm with like a whole crane set up. I feel like they kind of owe Neil for canceling that. So this would be a great thing to get back on his plate as a really cool puppet creature. That could be a big statement for that movie, the big kind of Jabba puppet moment. That I think it would just look so cool. And plus, we need more creature stuff in Star Wars, and this is a perfect example to do that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I agree, and it will be in the movie. Next
All
up is, since rancors, similar talk on creatures, are native to Dathomir, will we see rancors or at least one rancor in Maul Shadow Lord or Ahsoka season 2? I'm going to say we will not see a rancor in either of those. I think they've been running with the rancor not to be lame with the alliteration, but using rancors a lot. I think they're gonna not do that. Go ahead, John.
I think there's going to be a Rancor Rebellion on Dathomir in Ahsoka season 2.
I'm sorry, did you say a Rancor Rebellion?
Yeah, I think since it looks like we're going to be going to Dathomir in Ahsoka season 2, and if those creatures are native to that, I'm sort of like connecting it to the way I'm seeing it is if there's bad people on Dathomir, these witches, all these like dark side users, Maul, they probably don't treat Rancors well there either. The way
Those
Jabba
poor
didn't treat a Rancor
Rancors.
well. So I'm thinking Star Wars loves like that whole like freeing creatures thing. They freed the Wookiee slaves. I could totally see Ezra and Sabine or somebody like freeing a pit full of Rancors out into the wild. Then the Rancors like eat the witches and like just go
I would
crazy.
actually love that.
Yeah.
I think that would be so cool. I'd love that.
Free the Rancors, Rancor Rebellion, Ahsoka
Hashtag
season
free
2.
the Rancors.
Budget be damned, because we did get the Rancor, and they have the digital mapping and stuff from Book of Boba Fett with the Rancor. So I'm going Rancor Ahsoka season 2, Dathomir, just going ham and eating witches and going nuts on some bad people. Maybe killing some of those Thrawn zombies, biting the head off of one of those guys. Just having, because Rancor is living or dead. If you're the Walking Dead, if a Rancor is hungry, you're getting eaten, and that's what's going down. I'm all about.
What
the
if they
Rancor
take one
Rebellion.
and make it undead though? Like, what if one comes in that's like the opposite of cool? It's like, oh no,
Oh, like a zombie Rancor,
like Game of Thrones where they turn the dragon into.
Oh yeah.
I love that idea. I still don't think they'll do it, but I love it. And you saying that they have stuff made already, so maybe it would help with the budget. It just makes me laugh that what if they do this big elaborate Rancor Rebellion scene where they all get out and it's like this wonderful moment, and then the rest of the season is them standing one room because they spent all their budget on the Rancor Rebellion.
Worth it.
Did it.
That was the best. That was my favorite episode of Book of Boba Fett.
John shows his tattoo,
King
no
Kong.
Regrets.
Right. No
Anyway.
regrets, but all Rancors. Yeah. We're big Rancor fans on this podcast.
Rancors. I have a club. Rancors are cute club.
Yeah.
All right. Next
Rancors
is
be free.
hashtag free the Rancors. Star Wars is going to see that hashtag and be like, "What is this even?"
Hashtag Rancor Rebellion. What was the other thing I said? Rancor Rampage.
Free the Rancors.
Eating witches.
Next is a Patreon submission from General Darth Snips. What up, girl? She said, "Will Ezra and Sabine have a romantic connection in future Ahsoka?" Dun dun dun.
Who's going first? You
I'll go first. I think they will, and I think it was basically hinted in season 1. I thought there was. I know that people had said previously it was like a brother-sister type relationship. I didn't get that from season 1. I got it from like hey, maybe it was that, but now it's more than that because she missed him so much and he missed her so much that there was like this awkwardness between them. This like, do we hug? Do we high five? Like, what are we doing here? Because there's like this tension, and then they're separated again. So I feel like that's a, what is it? Distance makes the heart grow fonder type thing. Like they're constantly separated.
Yeah.
That they will eventually find a romantic connection. I feel like that's what they kind of. I guess that's what they kind of hinted at with like the whole mural thing. Like she's kind of just like touching his face, I don't know. That's very romantic to me, but I might be wrong.
I'm going no. I think this has platonic written all over it. And because they're going to be separated probably for most of Ahsoka season 2, I fear that if they try to get them together at the end of that season, that people are going to be like, they rushed another romance. There was no indication that those two ever wanted to be romantic. And I don't know. And plus her path is so loaded now.
It's so crazy.
She's going for Jedi. She's a Mandalorian. She's now in another galaxy with Ahsoka going potentially to Mortis. Who knows what that's going to do to her? No time for love, Dr. Jones, as Short Round said. So I'm going to go no, but I would not surprise me if you were right either. Like the cards are all set up that way too, from a certain point of view. So
yeah. Last but not least is, will you be pleased or disappointed if Matt Smith's character is a dark side force wielder of some kind in Sean Levy's Starfighter movie? There's a lot of S's in that sentence. John, what are your thoughts?
some answers aren't so simple.
Apparently. Am I wrong? I'm looking at the sentence being pleased, Smith, dark side, force of some, Sean. I was like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Audio, you're welcome.
I'm slowly stirring the sentiments on this in my head. Hang on.
Oh, English major, shut up and answer the question.
What's the question? Oh, well, no, I will not. I will not be disappointed. I will be pleased if he's a dark side force wielder of some kind, just as long as it's different from a Sith shooting lightning out of their hands or something like that. Like, I feel like you won't talk about dogmatic views. I feel like in Star Wars, they have tried to branch out, granted, with Kylo Ren not being a Sith, Snoke not being a Sith, but still doing the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be cool if there was a dark side user that did something with the Force we haven't seen yet. Now, you don't have to make it be like, this is the ultimate dark side user ever, and he's way more evil than Palpatine. Don't make that mistake. Don't make that mistake, because no one's buying it. No one's buying it. Just have him do something different that's equivalent to their power. Like, maybe it's not Force lightning. Maybe he can create things with the Force, or, it's fake and in space, so they can do whatever they want. So I think it'd be cool if he or she were able to use the dark side, or it's Matt Smith, if he was able to use the dark side, but put a different spin on it so that we understand it. We understand the tangibility of that, but that it's something different. So I will not be disappointed, and I would be actually rather pleased if they're able to pull that off.
Nice. I also would be pleased, not to be lame again. I just feel like anytime there's a dark side a force wielder, it just makes Star Wars cooler. Like, I just want a really crazy bad guy that does sick things with the Force that we haven't seen before, and I think it ups the ante of a bad guy rather than just someone with guns or like a gang or government official, which was the rumored position we were talking about, that like he could be like some type of general or something. That's so boring to me. I want someone that has a little edge to them. And I feel like Matt Smith is a very good villain. So give him the powers to be that bad villain. And also, I don't know if after everything that happened with the Rise of Skywalker, he would sign on if it was just a general. Like, if he was supposed to play Palpatine.
Great point.
And then it didn't go through, why would he ever sign on to be like, I'm Commander this guy? Commander Steve.
Commander Smith. They just call him Smith still.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Like, it just going back to the conversation earlier, I feel like that's the thread of this episode, guys, is like, if you want to be a part of Star Wars, the last thing you want is like to default onto something that's lame. Like, you want to be in it. You want to be a creature. You want to have a lightsaber. You want to fly a ship. You want to do something that's Star Wars-y. And I feel like that's what I see for Matt Smith. So I hope that happens, because it would be really cool. And plus, the guy's done Doctor Who. He's done Game of Thrones. Like, he's collecting these things for his Thanos glove. And he wants roles that mean something. What?
He wants that convention money from all
He does. He does. And he
those
gets
lines
it.
those lines are going to be getting long for him. Yeah. But you ever notice the lazy Star Wars name generator for like with some actors or something where they just take the first letters and flip them? So it'd just be
What do you
like,
mean?
yeah, his name is Sat Myth. Like that's what his Star Wars name is, you
I
know?
feel like Star Wars names got kind of lame. They got a little too crazy.
They've become a little bit of a parody of themselves. Like
Yeah.
we've said this before. Luke, Owen, Ben.
Leia.
Like, there's some normal names in there. Like let's get a Jeff and Jennifer in the mix in a galaxy far, far away. I would love it if Ryan Gosling's character rolls up and they're like, "Hey George, what's going on, man?" He's like, "Hey, I'm a starfighter. My name's George.
George Lucas.
George
Indiana.
Walton Lucas, Indiana. Jones." All right.
Jar Jar Binks. Excuse me? He's just making up names. Anyway.
Whatever works.
And that is the end of Will of the Force.
All right. So we have a few minutes here to close it out. So one thing I wanted to bring up, Lacey, was that I've dusted off the PS4 and I put the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
Then at this point, which one are we on?
Yeah, what are they up to 5 now? 5, right?
I don't know. I think it's 5.
6 is probably on the way.
Yeah.
But PS5s are like $600. It's like crazy. But anyway,
who's got that cash? Not me. Not me.
I'm trying to get Johnny off of doing things that I don't like Roblox and that stuff. So I was like, Johnny, check this game out. Like, I've had it for a couple of years now. He's about to turn 7, and we started playing it, and he fell in love with it. He absolutely loves this game. Cute. He's asking even more questions about it. He started with the Phantom Menace. We got to the pod race scene. It was on my lunch break. It was actually today. And we were trying to beat the pod race scene and we couldn't do it. And then we finally did it. And we just like hugged each other. We're like, I can't believe we did it. We beat the pod race scene. So Anakin's not the only human who could do it now. Thank you very much. John and Johnny Hoey tackled that feat no more than 8 hours ago. But
good for you.
It's a really fun time. It's a great game. And even I didn't even give it enough attention when I was starting to play it. And now I think, I'm going to let him keep, coming down every once in a while and play another level and learn things. And he's catching on so quick. He's doing things that I didn't even know that you could do in this game. So it bonded us a bit more over Star Wars. And he's like, Dad, I want to dive back in and finish those movies. So don't look past. We talked a lot about Lego Star Wars. And there's zero payment or anything. We talked a lot about Lego Star Wars.
We
no
like
sponsors, but between Rebuild the Galaxy, but also games like this is such a great game. From fan to fan, like if you have kids and they're getting close to the age where they can start playing some video games and the hand-eye coordination's starting to click, play that with them. Because man, we had such a good time today doing that. And I think it's opened up new doors for him to really dive back fully into Star Wars because so far,
really fun.
He's been in, but not fully in. But it's been a real joy. But yeah,
my kids aren't there yet. I think the love that Daisy has for it is that I love it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like I don't know
Yep.
if he likes it. I know she loves some stuff. She likes BB-8. She likes Grogu. She carries Grogu around all the time. Still, even going on year 4 now. But I feel like what's driving it is my love for it, which is very cute and adorable and wonderful as her mom. But I want her to kind of like it on her own. So I'm like trying to like see if she'll do it, which so far it has been on her own. I have not done anything to push her towards it. It's usually she comes in my podcasting space, sees something, wants it, takes it out, and then it becomes hers. Like that's what it's becoming, which is wonderful. But yeah, I'm not at that point yet for games or even seeing the movies really. She's seen like parts of the Phantom Menace, which she likes Jar Jar Binks. She's seen obviously BB-8, and I've shown her like clips of Chewbacca online, but like not the full movie. She doesn't have the, I think, attention to go through it. And also I don't want to scare her yet because there are some scary parts of Star Wars. But yeah, I look forward to it. She likes like the baby stuff online, like the baby critters that they did for like that line of toys for a little bit. Do you remember that? Like they did like
Vaguely.
the cutesy like Ewok babies, and then they did a different kind of like the Greedo
Oh yeah.
baby.
Yep.
And then I don't think they carry them in the store anymore, but they did do them for a little bit, and it came with like an online series that you could be your companion with the little creature. But speaking of toys, I really am surprised, and I don't know if it's because I missed it, but I haven't seen it yet, that there has been no 10th anniversary for Force Awakens stuff. One
True.
of the must-have items, I would say for most fans, including myself, this is my current white whale, is the electronic Kylo Ren helmet that they released for The Force Awakens from Hasbro, Black Series helmet. They have never re-released it. It was released once, and then that was it, which is surprising because he was the guy for the sequel trilogy.
Did they
And
put a squeeze on any and all Kylo Ren related stuff or something? I don't understand because
I
we
feel
didn't
like
get
they
the Ben
did.
Solo figure.
The Ben Solo figure still has never happened. John knows I bring it up with Hasbro every time I'm with them. It's like, hey, what are we doing here?
It just seems like such a deliberate omission.
They might have been told not to do it. It
Right.
might not be Hasbro. It might be their I almost said overlords, but it might have been Lucasfilm Disney that's like, don't do it. But I haven't heard anything about the Kylo Ren helmet. And it's the 10th anniversary of Force Awakens. I haven't heard any screening information for Force Awakens, which you guys know I'm gonna go see it. I'm just surprised. I'm very surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually when they do announce the Force Awakens thing, finger crossed, that they don't give a first look at Mando in front of it.
Yeah.
Get a first look of Mando when going to see the Force Awakens again. They made so much money in these re-releases with Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith. Why wouldn't you also re-release the Force Awakens? And I feel like no one's talking about this 10th anniversary. Like, am I going crazy? I feel like they've announced all of their years. Like, oh, it's the 22nd year of this. And I'm like, well, what? 10th is a big deal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back now, and I don't think they love 10-year anniversaries.
Maybe they don't, but it makes me really sad because I literally, even before I joined this podcast, I've been searching for this Kylo Ren electronic helmet forever. And if you try to get one on eBay, they're $1 bajillion and you'll never find one. They're impossible to get. And I would love for them to re-release it, for everybody to have a chance to get it, because it also had the voice modulator in it. My understanding is like if you talked, it still had that kind of like
Oh yeah.
voice thing in it. I really want it, and I haven't seen anything about it, and or any like. I just go back to that time. I don't know if you remember it. I remember going into The Force Awakens and how nuts it was for like merchandise.
Yeah.
I went to Walmart, I think 2 days before the movie came out, and I happened to find a stormtrooper. I don't know how. They had accidentally put it out. It was a Walmart down near my old job. I was shaking. I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, I found a Force Awakens stormtrooper." Because they weren't releasing anything until that night. It was like a big deal. So I found one. I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god." And I go up to the cash register thinking they're not going to let me get it. And it rings through and this like alert comes up on the self-checkout being like, "Do not release until whatever." And the lady comes over and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. It was over on this bin over." And she was
Oh
like,
yeah, I remember you telling me
yeah,
about this.
she was just
Yeah.
like, "Eh, whatever." And she just like let it go through. And I was like, "Oh my god." And I brought it to my car and I was just sitting there with it. And I was like, "Oh my god, I have one." And it was like such a big deal. Now looking back, they have so many of those everywhere, but at the time it was so cool, and I just look forward to that again, and I'm excited for The Mandalorian and Grogu because I think we're gonna get something like that
Hopefully.
with stuff in the
Jeez.
source because there really isn't anything. So when I hear you talk about how you and Johnny are getting into the game, that's really exciting because I feel like some of those opportunities to have those bonding experiences in stores or movie theaters or wherever, where we fell in love with Star Wars is not happening anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
It makes me a little sad, a little bit.
But Mando and Grogu shall prevail. That's what we think.
Absolutely. And I'm interested to see what comes out of D23 and if anything comes out of New York Comic Con. I haven't seen any Lucasfilm related stuff out of New York Comic Con.
Yeah,
It's always
probably
kind
not.
of give or take with them. But yeah, we will see. I feel like we're in this state of like the calm before the storm. Like we're in this
Mhm.
like lull period that like the eye of the hurricane or something. That you're
Yeah.
just sitting in it, waiting for the other wall to hit you because you're like, okay,
Mhm.
when's things are gonna pick up, and you know it's coming. Um,
Yeah.
but I also love this time too because it lets you have a little bit more fun, and you don't feel like you have to be like on top of every single detail that's going on.
I agree with that. Yeah, we're 9
Yeah,
months away from Mando and Grogu. Things will certainly heat up, and hopefully some kind of big splash for a trailer and some cool merch.
I love that.
Because you have the tools, you have the characters. Now just make the stuff and get people excited.
Your cool
Uh,
merch, like your shirt.
yeah.
Did you
Oh
show
yeah.
everybody your shirt? He's got a
I don't,
sick and or what is that? I have one too sitting here on my desk actually. What does
it's
it
the
say on it?
ILM
ILM special effects, right?
visual
Yeah.
effects crew for season 2 of Andor. I purchased it. I was not a part of the ILM visual effects crew,
Yeah.
but it is a good shirt. It is comfy. It is light, so I will wear it.
It was a
Um,
shirt that I was present when it was purchased, and it was purchased because I grabbed it and shoved it against your chest and said, "Buy this shirt."
that was a very stressful. Like we were like we have to leave, but we're at Lucasfilm. This is so strange that we're like, sorry, we have to leave, but we
I
had to
know.
go
I
to the
remember
ranch.
because you were
Yeah,
just like, I've never seen John so overwhelmed. Like just
I
deer
was
in
very
headlights.
overwhelmed.
Didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I went into like game mode. And I looked at him and I was like, get a sweatshirt right now. Go get a sweatshirt. Go pick which one out, try it on, get a sweatshirt. So you went and got a sweatshirt. I saw that shirt and there were only a couple left and I like grabbed it and I handed it to you. I was like, this is a great color. Buy this. What did you get for Kathleen? Oh, okay. Get her this. Like just throwing
Yeah.
stuff at you. Oh my gosh. I have
Worked
like
out.
all these kid shirts, by the way. I might have to talk with you to see what your kid size are because I have extra that I'm like, where did
Do
these
you?
come
My
from?
kids wear them. Yeah.
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 But
They wear
anyway,
our stuff too.
it's just oh yeah, Daisy was watching it wearing a Galactic Goonies shirt the other day.
Yeah, my
And
Daisy too. She
people
loves
were
it.
complimenting it. What else did I have? Oh, I got this shirt too. What shirt was it? This is the one that I haven't been able to wear. It still has the tags on it. Oh my god. Is I've been waiting for the opportunity. This is the Skeleton Crew one.
Oh, what is that? The map? What is that?
It's like a map of like the different planets with like a skull
Oh
and
yeah.
bones on it in a stormtrooper
It's like a
helmet.
treasure map. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That's awesome.
stormtrooper helmet. Yeah, so cool. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
the opportunity. I'm such a nerd. I'm like, I need the perfect opportunity to break in this shirt, but it's cool anyway. Anyway,
Very good. All right. Well, that takes us to the end of the show. Thank you all so much for listening and watching and being a part of TRB. We hope you enjoyed a very humorous show, but also
fun
some great
one.
chats about a lot of these topics. We want to know what you
Mhm.
think. What were your answers for Will of the Force? We know that's a tough segment, but also your thoughts on those new segments we talked about and the Mando trailer and all the good stuff we got into tonight, especially the Rancor Rebellion that is incoming in Ahsoka season 2.
Free the Rancors.
Free the Rancors. Yeah, let's eat some witches. All right. Big shout out, of course, to the generals and spice runners on our Patreon. Generals Carmelo, John Reese, Jetta Rosewater, Frank Grande, Chris Morales, Mike Ramori, Brendan McLaughlin, Sneaky Zebra, Dave Hornack, Colin Cormier, Stephen Garrow, Sachi, and Darth Snips. And the spice runners, David Probus, Neil Shaw, Kendall Gellner, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, The Fortworthian, and Brian Smith. And however you support us, thank you so much. We appreciate it so much. And we'll be back with you next week with a new episode of the Resistance broadcast. And for people who like all the other cool movies, TV, and pop culture stuff, check out our other podcast, Nerdy and Nice. It's on its own audio platform, and the video version is on our YouTube channel. Check that show out. It's also a good time. Same style, but all the other stuff that we like to nerd out about. in this space. But that's it from us. Lacey, where can people chat you up?
First of all, Simon Kinberg, if you ever want to come on the show, let us know. You're welcome to come anytime.
Yeah, we'll bring donuts.
since we love you from just this minute 37-second interview. No, people can find me on social media at Lacey Gillerin on TikTok, at It's Lacey Gillerin, and of course at TRB Podcasts and at Nerdy Nice Pod.
Same for me on those. And then my personal account, Johnny Hoey on Blue Sky and Twitter. And that is it. Have a wonderful weekend upcoming, and as well as the rest of your week. And we'll see you next time right here on TRB. See you around, kids.